In a world where billionaires often hoard their wealth, Jeff Bezos has made headlines with a jaw-dropping announcement. The Amazon founder has pledged to give away the majority of his staggering $240 billion fortune. It's a move that's left many wondering, is this the beginning of the end for Bezos' vast empire? Picture this, Bezos, standing before a crowd, his bald head gleaming under the spotlight, announcing billions in donations to combat climate change, homelessness, and support journalism. It's a scene that's played out multiple times over the past few years, each announcement more staggering than the last. But let's dive deeper into this philanthropic spree. In 2020, Bezos launched the Bezos Earth Fund with a whopping $10 billion commitment. That's not pocket change, even for the world's richest man. This fund aims to support scientists, activists, and organizations fighting the climate crisis. It's a noble cause, but is it putting a dent in Bezos' bank account? Fast forward to 2023, and Bezos is at it again. This time, he's tackling homelessness through his Day One Families Fund. With a $110 million donation, he's aiming to provide shelter and support for families in need. It's a drop in the ocean of his wealth, but it's making waves in the philanthropic world. But wait, there's more. In a move that raised eyebrows on Wall Street, Bezos donated approximately 930,000 Amazon shares in 2025. That's over $190 million worth of stock, given away in just a few months. It's a gesture that's hard to ignore, even for his harshest critics. Speaking of critics, they've been quick to point out the contrast between Bezos' philanthropy and his personal spending. Remember that lavish wedding in 2023, the one with the yacht, the celebrity guests, and the rumored $100 million price tag? It's hard to reconcile that level of opulence with the image of a man giving away his fortune. So, the question on everyone's mind, is Jeff Bezos really going broke? Or is this all part of a larger strategy? Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Despite these massive donations, Bezos' net worth hasn't taken a significant hit. In fact, it's continued to grow, thanks to Amazon's soaring stock price and his other investments. It's like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. The water just keeps rushing back in. But here's where it gets interesting. Bezos isn't just writing checks and walking away. He's strategically positioning himself as a global philanthropist, wielding influence in ways that go beyond mere dollars and cents. Each donation comes with a carefully crafted message, aligning Bezos with causes that resonate with the public and policymakers alike. Take the Bezos Earth Fund, for example. It's not just about throwing money at the climate crisis. It's about shaping the conversation, influencing policy, and positioning Bezos as a key player in one of the most pressing issues of our time. It's philanthropy with a side of power play. And let's not forget the tax implications. While we can't peek into Bezos' tax returns, it's no secret that charitable donations can lead to significant tax benefits for the ultra-wealthy. Could this giving spree be as much about financial strategy as it is about generosity? But here's where the plot thickens. Bezos isn't just donating cash, he's giving away Amazon stock. This move is particularly intriguing. By donating shares instead of selling them and giving away the proceeds, Bezos avoids capital gains taxes while still reducing his ownership stake in the company he founded. It's a delicate balancing act. On one hand, Bezos is fulfilling his pledge to give away his fortune. On the other, he's maintaining control of Amazon while potentially reducing his tax burden. It's philanthropy meets financial engineering, and it's raising eyebrows in both charitable and corporate circles. So, is Jeff Bezos going broke? The short answer is no. Despite the headline-grabbing donations, his wealth continues to grow at a pace that outstrips his giving. But that doesn't mean his philanthropy isn't significant. Bezos is playing a long game here. He's not just giving away money. He's building a legacy. Each donation, each cause he supports, is another brick in the foundation of his post-Amazon identity. He's transitioning from tech titan to global philanthropist. And he's doing it with the same strategic mindset that built Amazon into a global powerhouse. But this transformation isn't without its challenges. Bezos faces scrutiny from all sides. Critics argue that his philanthropy is a drop in the bucket compared to his vast wealth, while others question the motives behind his giving. Is he truly committed to making a difference? Or is this all an elaborate PR strategy? The truth, as always, likely lies somewhere in the middle. Bezos' giving is undoubtedly making an impact. The billions he's donated to climate change, homelessness, and other causes are funding real work with real results. But it's also clear that this philanthropy is carefully calculated, designed to maximize impact. both on the causes he supports and on his own public image. As we watch this story unfold, it's worth asking ourselves some hard questions. What responsibility do the ultra-wealthy have to give back to society? How do we balance the need for philanthropic giving with concerns about the concentration of wealth and power? And perhaps most importantly, what does true generosity look like in a world of billionaires? Jeff Bezos' philanthropic journey is far from over. As he continues to give away his fortune, we'll be watching closely. Will he truly transform his wealth into lasting impact and influence? Or will his giving spree be remembered as a footnote in the history of one of the world's richest men? One thing's for certain, Jeff Bezos isn't going broke, but he is changing the game. And as he does, he's forcing us to reconsider what wealth, power, and philanthropy mean in the 21st century. So, what do you think? Is giving away billions a sign of generosity, or the start of a new kind of financial strategy? The debate rages on, and the world is watching. As Bezos continues to reshape his fortune and his legacy, one thing is clear: this is just the beginning of a much larger story. Jeff Bezos, the man who built an empire from an online bookstore, has been making headlines not just for his astronomical wealth, but for his recent philanthropic endeavors. The Amazon founder pledged to give away most of his fortune, estimated at a staggering $240 billion. But here's the million-dollar question, or should we say, billion-dollar question. Is Jeff Bezos going broke? Let's dive into the numbers, shall we? As of mid-2025, Bezos' net worth still hovers around a mind-boggling $230 billion. That's right, folks. Despite his generous donations and lavish spending, he's only down about $10 billion from his peak. To put that in perspective, that's like losing a penny when you've got $100 in your pocket. Not exactly what most of us would call broke. But where does all this wealth come from? It's not like Bezos has a Scrooge McDuck-style money bin he swims in every morning. The bulk of his fortune, we're talking about $190 billion, is tied up in Amazon shares. That's 905 million shares, to be exact. And let's not forget his other ventures: Blue Origin, The Washington Post, Prime Real Estate, and who knows what other projects he's got cooking. Now, you might be thinking, but wait, didn't he just sell a bunch of stock? You're not wrong. Bezos recently offloaded $737 million worth of Amazon shares. But before you start picturing him desperately selling off assets to keep the lights on, let's pump the brakes. This sale was part of a preset 1-of-5-1 trading plan. In other words, it was a calculated move, not a desperate cash grab. Speaking of calculated moves, let's talk about Bezos' toys. We're not talking about a collection of action figures here. We're talking about a $500 million superyacht, a private jet that probably costs more than most of us will earn in a lifetime, and enough real estate to make a Monopoly player jealous. Oh, and did we mention he owns a space company and one of the most influential newspapers in the world? Yeah, this doesn't exactly scream broke to me, but here's where things get interesting. Despite all this wealth, Bezos has been on a giving spree. He's pledged billions to combat climate change, address homelessness, and support various philanthropic causes. It's an admirable move, no doubt, but critics are quick to point out that his philanthropic efforts pale in comparison to his vast wealth. They're not wrong. His ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, has already donated $19 billion, putting Bezos' giving to shame. So, if Bezos isn't going broke, why is he suddenly so keen on giving away his fortune? Is this a genuine change of heart? Or is there more to the story? Could this be a strategic move to reshape his legacy and influence? Let's consider the possibilities. On one hand, Bezos could be genuinely motivated by a desire to make a positive impact on the world. After all, what's the point of having all that money if you can't use it to make a difference? On the other hand, philanthropy on this scale isn't just about giving. It's about power and influence. By directing billions of dollars towards causes of his choosing, Bezos is shaping the future in ways that go far beyond what he could achieve through Amazon alone. And let's not forget about the potential tax benefits. While we're not suggesting this is Bezos' primary motivation, it's worth noting that large-scale philanthropy can come with significant tax advantages. It's a way for the ultra-wealthy to maintain control over how their money is spent, rather than simply handing it over to the government. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Bezos' giving is how it's changing the narrative around him. For years, he was criticized for his relative lack of philanthropy compared to other tech billionaires. Now, he's making headlines for his generosity. It's a masterclass in reputation management. whether that was the intention or not. So, is Jeff Bezos going broke? Not by a long shot. What we're seeing is a strategic transformation of wealth. He's not losing money, he's converting it into impact, influence, and legacy. It's a move that could shape the world for generations to come, all while keeping Bezos firmly at the helm of a vast financial empire. But this raises some provocative questions. Is this level of influence in the hands of one individual a good thing for society? Should we applaud Bezos for his philanthropy, or demand more given the scale of his wealth? And perhaps most importantly, what does this say about the system that allowed such vast accumulation of wealth in the first place? As we wrap up this exploration of Bezos' finances, it's clear that the story is far from over. His wealth may fluctuate, his giving may increase, but one thing's for certain, Jeff Bezos isn't going broke anytime soon. He's playing a long game, one that extends far beyond the balance sheets and stock prices. So, here's a question for you to ponder. If you were in Bezos' shoes, with billions at your disposal, would you give it away during your peak years, or would you hold onto it? Focusing on building a legacy and inheritance? It's easy to judge from the outside, but the reality of managing that level of wealth, and the responsibility that comes with it, is something few of us can truly comprehend. As we watch Bezos' philanthropic journey unfold, one thing is clear: whether you admire him or criticize him, his actions will have far-reaching consequences. He's not just giving away money, he's reshaping the landscape of global philanthropy, corporate responsibility, and wealth distribution. In the end, the question isn't really whether Jeff Bezos is going broke. The real question is, what will be the lasting impact of his wealth, both in how he's earned it and how he chooses to give it away? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be one hell of a ride. So buckle up, folks. The Bezos saga is far from over, and something tells me the most interesting chapters are yet to come. Jeff Bezos, the man who built an empire from books to rockets, is now making headlines for a different reason, giving away his fortune. But hold on, is the richest man in the world really going broke? Let's dive into this billion-dollar question. Picture this: Bezos, standing on a stage, announcing he'll donate most of his $240 billion fortune. The crowd goes wild, cameras flash, and social media explodes. It's a philanthropic mic-drop that echoes around the world. But what's really going on behind those headlines? Bezos isn't just writing checks, he's orchestrating a symphony of strategic giving. Climate change, homelessness, early childhood education, these aren't random causes. They're carefully chosen battlegrounds where Bezos aims to leave his mark. It's not charity, it's legacy building on a global scale. But let's talk numbers for a second. Despite pledging billions, Bezos' net worth hasn't exactly taken a nosedive. In fact, it's still astronomical. How's that possible? Well, it's all about the long game. Bezos isn't emptying his bank account overnight. He's playing chess, while the rest of us are playing checkers. Here's where it gets interesting. Bezos isn't just giving away cash, he's donating Amazon shares. Why? Because it's a financial masterstroke. It minimizes his tax burden while maximizing his impact. Every share donated is a share that can't be taxed later. Clever, right? But wait, there's more. Bezos isn't just throwing money at problems, he's creating institutions. The Day One Fund, the Earth Fund, these aren't your average charitable foundations. They're powerhouses, designed to tackle systemic issues. It's philanthropy with a Silicon Valley twist, disruptive, scalable, and built to last. Now, you might be thinking, that's all well and good, but what about the critics? And you'd be right to ask. Some say Bezos and his billionaire buddies are all talk and no action when it comes to real reform. What about worker wages? What about corporate responsibility? These are questions that can't be ignored. So, is Bezos going broke? Not even close. But he is changing the game. He's redefining what it means to be a philanthropist in the 21st century. It's not about giving until it hurts. It's about giving strategically, efficiently, and with an eye on the future. But here's where things get really interesting. Bezos isn't just preserving his wealth, he's transforming it. Through trusts and careful estate planning, he's ensuring that his fortune will continue to work long after he's gone. It's not about hoarding billions in a bank account. It's about creating a legacy that will outlive him. Think about it. By retaining control of Amazon and Blue Origin while funding massive philanthropic efforts, Bezos is playing a long game that most of us can barely comprehend. His wealth may diminish on paper, but his power and influence, they're only growing. Let's break it down. The Day One Fund isn't just throwing money at homelessness, it's reimagining how we tackle the problem. The Earth Fund isn't just planting trees, it's investing in groundbreaking climate technologies. The S isn't your grandpa's philanthropy. It's philanthropy on steroids, powered by the same innovative thinking that built Amazon. But here's the million-dollar question, or should we say billion-dollar question. Is this a new norm for billionaire giving? Or is it just Bezos flexing his financial muscles in a new arena? Are we witnessing the birth of a new kind of philanthropy? Or is this just wealth control dressed up in charitable clothing? Let's consider the possibilities. On one hand, Bezos' approach could inspire a new generation of tech billionaires to think bigger about their giving. Imagine a world where every tech giant pours their fortune into solving global problems with the same intensity they brought to disrupting industries. It's a tantalizing prospect. On the other hand, critics argue that this kind of mega philanthropy is just another way for the ultra-rich to shape the world in their image. After all, who elected Bezos to decide which global problems get solved? Is it really philanthropy if it comes with strings attached? And let's not forget the elephant in the room: taxes. By donating shares instead of cash, Bezos is playing a sophisticated game with the tax system. It's perfectly legal, but is it right? Should billionaires be able to choose between paying taxes and funding their own pet projects? These are tough questions, and there are no easy answers. But one thing's for sure, Bezos' philanthropic efforts are forcing us to rethink what it means to give back when you're worth more than some countries. So, where does this leave us? Is Jeff Bezos broke? Far from it. Is he changing the face of philanthropy? Absolutely. But the real question is, what does this mean for the rest of us? As we watch Bezos reshape his fortune into a force for change, we're left wondering, can mega philanthropy truly reshape society? Or is it just another form of wealth control? It's a question that will shape debates, policies, and maybe even the future of global problem solving for years to come. One thing's certain: Jeff Bezos isn't going broke, he's going big. And whether you admire him or criticize him, you can't ignore the waves he's making in the world of giving. The billionaire philanthropist playbook is being rewritten, and we're all watching it happen in real time. So, the next time you hear about Bezos making another multi-billion-dollar donation, remember, it's not just about the money. It's about power, influence, and a vision for the future that extends far beyond any one person's lifetime. It's a high-stakes game of chess, played out on a global scale, with the future of philanthropy hanging in the balance. As we wrap up this deep dive into Bezos' giving strategy, we're left with more questions than answers. Is this the future of philanthropy? Will other billionaires follow suit? And most importantly, will it actually make the world a better place? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure: the world is watching. And whether you're Team Bezos or Team Skeptic, there's no denying that we're witnessing a seismic shift in how the ultra-wealthy approach giving. It's not just about writing checks anymore. It's about rewriting the rules of the game. So, what do you think? Is Bezos' approach to philanthropy a game changer, or just a clever way to maintain control? The debate is far from over, and your voice matters. Share your thoughts, challenge your assumptions, and let's keep this conversation going, because in the end, how we answer these questions could shape the future of global problem solving for generations to come.